Omar, how's it going today?
Sundeep, how you doing? Wonderful. It's a Friday, can't complain. Got some snow showers here, right? How about you?
I
How's
know right
Milton?
now. Yeah, in my area, it's the rain has turned into snow, so it's in that between like slushy period right now, and it's not fun to drive in.
Yeah, but it looks beautiful. If you've got a nice hot chocolate or a warm cup of coffee and you're watching that snow fall down, it's a beautiful sight.
You're so right.
Yeah,
Hey Omar, I wanted to pick your brain at something.
yeah.
I have this call that's coming up, and it's for a job, and I'm not sure whether or not it's an interview or not just yet. And I was wondering if we could talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, of
Um,
course.
Thank you, man. So I had sent off my resume, and a CEO has come back to me, said he's very impressed with my resume, and the company's actually overseas, something I've never really experienced before. Um, they've written down in their message that the compensation is offered in shares, and right now, it's a 6 to 8 hour work week, um, until they get more funding and and all of that. And you know what? I've never experienced a message like this, and I don't even know how to, navigate this conversation on Monday. Is it gonna be, is this gonna be interview? What sort of questions do I ask? Like, what do the shares mean? And I'm sure like there might be viewers out there that are experiencing or thinking or probably wondering like how do you even navigate this sort of conversation. And so may like you're a coach, and I thought I'd throw it to you for some advice, and you always give me good advice, so I thought maybe I ask you that today.
Yeah. Oh, Sandeep, thank you. And let's get right into it. I appreciate the question. Right off the bat, congratulations. You got your resume read and he told you it was impressive. I'm so happy for you, right? Like that's a pretty big accomplishment for a CEO to reach out. And sounds like you have an interview or a coffee chat on Monday and you want a better understanding of kind of how to navigate that conversation, maybe how to prepare for that conversation. And then furthermore, there's a mention of some shares. So it looks like they're not compensating fully through means of money. It sounds like it's shares to begin with. So how do you even bring that up or navigate through that? Does that reframe your question in a meaningful way?
Yeah, I think that's perfect. Yeah. And by the way, I should pause for a second. Like, Omar, I think one of the biggest reasons I got this message back was you really helped me with my resume.
Thank you.
You've taken it from we've had a couple of iterations here. So we've gone from a bad version, which I thought was a good version. We've brought it up to a 1.0. Now we're on to 2.0. And I'm starting to get some traction. So this is part of the traction. So I really appreciate what you've done for me so far. And I just wanted, yeah, appreciate that, man, before we get started.
Oh, you're welcome. And so kind of you to say that. And no, man, it's all your efforts. And if viewers are listening in, we're gonna have a live resume edit session hopefully in January. Our theme is gonna be finding a job, considering it's Jan, and a lot of people will be out in the market. So thank you for saying that, and you're too kind, sir. And congratulations. It's a pretty big accomplishment for a CEO to reach out, say that they're impressed by your resume, and then book a coffee chat, right? So congratulations as well on your end. So Sandeep,
Thanks.
I'll do a couple of by way of an agenda, just so that we stay organized. I'll tackle in the start of the conversation how I think you should prepare for that conversation, and then this shares question that you had. Maybe we'll address that towards the end of the conversation as well, just so that we're providing value throughout the conversation. Sound okay?
Sounds great, man. Thank you.
All right. So this is awesome. You've got an opportunity to be front face with a CEO of a company that you want to work at. They're excited by the work that you do because they're excited by your resume. What do? You've got the call. That's the hard part. You've got on the phone, you've got a meeting booked. Now you're going to prepare for the meeting. And I strategically say prepare for the meeting because that's my first piece of advice. I strongly recommend that you prepare for the meeting. It's not the CEO's responsibility that's coming on to the table to meet with you for the coffee chat to make that conversation interactive, to make it fruitful, to bring value in that conversation. It's actually your responsibility to make it a passion filled, motivation filled, value add conversation. So CEO walks away leaving thinking, I got to hire that person. So where I'll start is you need to have that sort of vision and that outcome very clear in your head, right? You want to leave that CEO thinking and feeling, how have I not hired Sandeep already and put him into this role? So how do you do that? A couple of ways. First, of course, you know the company because you're meeting with the CEO and you apply to the job. You understand what the company's strategic plan is. You understand what the company is looking to do, and you understand how the company is helping the market in the current state. What is their value proposition? I would take the time to understand all of that. I would then take a moment to generate some feedback and some conversation on your transferable skills. So let's just say, for example, just thinking out loud, they have a goal to grow their net profits by 10%. They want to do that by
Mm.
collaborating with internal and external vendors, and they want to do that by engaging their existing customer base. So three things that they're looking to do. Let's say that you have a transferable skill in working with people, in collaborating with people, and understanding people. You've managed vendorship relationships before, and you are a relationship builder. These are all great skills that lead to the three things that the CEO is looking to do as well. So what I would do is I would come prepared to speak to those skills. Hey, you're looking to grow your business by 10% over the next year. Well, I've been managing vendor relationships for the last 8 years. I work with both internal and external vendors. I love your strategic plan. You want to impact the community, or you want to provide a software, or you want to provide a service, or you want to hand out an item that will help ease people's lives. That's such meaningful work. Can I this is where I can help you. I've managed projects for over 8 years at large organizations. I built relationships for over 10 years in massive corporations as well. You could use all of that. You want to engage your current sort of staff, your current clientele that you already have, to see where you could sort of spark something in them. Well, I've engaged warm contacts before, and this is how I've done it. This is how I generate my email. So all of a sudden, now imagine the coffee chat. The CEO walked in, you walked in. You could take the conversation anywhere. But what you decided to do was understand what the company offers, understand where the company's headed, and understand what they want. And then you've taken that information and understood your transferable skills. And now you've come prepared to talk to the CEO about how your skills will match the trajectory of the organization. How does that land with you, Sandeep? I'll pause.
No, that's pretty interesting, valuable information, and I think I'm gonna, when I post this video, I'm gonna rewatch it on the weekend, because these are really good tips. So what you're saying is, like, first really get to know the company and do your research and do it well, and then basically you're saying find common alignments and align yourself with the conversation. So have a couple maybe in my back pocket, maybe, right? And then as we're talking, it's like, oh, I can talk about this one. No, I can talk about that one, and really make the CEO leave this conversation thinking like, oh, why haven't I hired this guy before? Like earlier, right? Why haven't I found him earlier? So really, yeah, that's really, I think that would go really well.
And maybe if I could share an example that helped that translate a little bit better. Let's just say, you know what, you're the new CEO of the largest creative company in the Canadian environment, right? Omar, I reach out to you to say, I want to join your recruitment team. You're such a big creative firm. I want to join your recruit. You're like, you know what? Omar's resume was very impressive. Let's meet with him. You and me book a coffee chat. Now, me, Omar, the person who's applying to the largest, you're the CEO. So now I have two options when I meet. You're busy, right? You're the CEO of the largest creative company. You don't care to meet with me or not meet with me. You're like, you know what? It's slightly impressive. I'll meet with him. So you show up to the call, just like you are right now. You show up to the call. Me, Omar, as the candidate, I have two options. I can either show up and say, hey, I'm so excited about your company. I really want to work for you. Can you give me a job? Please give me a job. Please, please. I've done XYZ. This is what I've done. I've 10,000 years of experience. Please give me a job. And I could just show up like this. Great.
Hmm.
No, great conversation. Or I could show up and say, oh my God, Sandeep, I'm so excited. Creative is at a cutting edge. You know, what do you think about ChatGPT? You know, are you incorporating that in the work that you're doing? How does creative changing? I can tell, you know, the landscape is changing. I was reading the other day in the news that this XYZ happened. That would affect your company in a massive way, and that would make your life a lot easier, right? All of a
Yeah.
sudden, I'm relating to the CEO in things that matter to him, and the conversation
Yeah.
becomes meaningful. Does that
So little
example?
little less. Yeah, no, I really resonate with that. I read a book called Story Brand, and it's all about like making so in this book, it's about making customer the hero. So in this case, like a lot of marketers go, they fail because they make their company the hero, and really it means nothing to the customer, right?
Yeah.
From what I'm hearing from you is like make make the CEO and this make the recruiter or the hiring manager, whoever it is you're talking to, make them the hero of this conversation, and you're just there to support. So, I mean, like, I think that might go really well, man. I'm gonna try that.
I, you know what? I actually, I pride myself on giving great examples, but I love how you reiterated that. You're absolutely right. And that's such a great way to share your wording, right? Like, yeah, you're right. And furthermore, before you meet with them, make sure that you show up in a proper manner, right? It's a coffee chat, so what you would think from
Yeah,
an interview. I
yeah.
would really recommend putting on a nice shirt. Maybe putting on a tie if you had a bow tie or anything like that. It's an opportunity for you to shine. You've got the coffee chat. Make sure you're shining in that coffee chat. And I know that you mentioned shares.
Yes.
Maybe the company is sort of just in the preliminary phases of starting off. Maybe they're also trying to get talent to come and help them and grow their business, and they probably have a really good business model. If the business model resonates with you, if it's a company that you see growing, which is what you hope to display in the coffee chat because you'll do that research over the weekend, I
Mm,
wouldn't worry about it. Everyone has to start somewhere, right? We often hear a lot of candidates complain and say, I don't have 10 years of experience, but you want for an entry level job 10 years of experience. I- that
mhm.
doesn't make any sense. You're asking for an entry level job with 10 years of experience, but that's not an entry level job, right? So
Yeah.
same concept and same thinking. How do you expect a business to start up and be successful if people don't have money to invest, if people can't hire the staff, but they still need to get the work done? It's a
Good
really
point.
great. I don't know the CEO. I don't even know the company. To be honest, you've kept it confidential, and rightfully so. I'm not requesting that you share that openly, but you know, it's something to think about when we say that as a candidate, and we think about it. Why can't we put our sort of thinking cap on and think about it from a CEO's perspective, right? Um, he doesn't have the cash. He needs the business to grow. He needs some jobs completed. What better way to bring on some talent, right? This is an opportunity for you to develop and
Yeah.
grow, and for him to save a little bit
Okay.
of money, right?
Yeah, this is why I like talking to you, man. You have a different perspective, and you can share with me, like, the other side of it.
And
One
the
last
share,
question, man,
yeah,
if
of course,
you don't mind. The
yeah,
shares is an arbitrary number, and I don't know what it means. Like, it's X amount of shares. What sort of
yeah,
questions can I ask around that? Like, around the shares? Like, I imagine, like,
yeah,
I'm talking to you as if I'm a complete beginner.
yeah.
What do
I
shares
love it.
mean, and how does that number even translate to dollars? In the future?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Well, shares is if you get into a thriving company and a company that has a really strong trajectory, shares is an awesome place to be because that's basically saying as the company grows, you'll grow. So let's just say I would ask questions like, what is the share value right now? If the share is $1 today and it's going to be worth $3 in 2025, 1 year from now, that's a $2 growth per share. If they're offering you 33 shares, that's $2 in the last year per share that you made. Obviously, there's other numbers and other things that you have to pull
Right.
in and out of this, but very simply put, that's so attractive because you're now tied. No, you don't have a dollar salary. If the company grows to be $1 billion company and you have 3 shares of $1 billion company, you're worth a lot, right? Forget the salary.
Okay.
So I actually think it's a really. I was gonna congratulate you and say, hey, it is actually a really cool way, and especially if you believe in the company's vision, and where they're headed, and you think you can contribute, and you think the company is going to grow in the Canadian marketplace. And my friend, shares is better than a salary because as the company grows, you've already bought in. You already think they're going to be successful. So as they grow from $1, and they might go from $1 to
Mm,
$100. And let's say
mhm.
they've given you 50 shares for that 8 hours of work. Now that share was $1 today, and 2 years is $50. So now each share is worth $50 for you, right? So to answer your question, I would ask questions
Hmm,
like, what is the share value today? What do you expect it to be 1 year? What do you expect it to be 5 years down the road? So you're trying to
gotcha.
understand what their vision of growth is, and if it matches your vision of growth. Does that help, good sir?
Yes, yes, that helps a lot. Thanks for framing that for me.
Yeah, of course. No, such a pleasure. And congratulations. It's a pretty big deal for a CEO to even come back and say, great resume, let's meet. I'm excited. It's an opportunity
Yeah.
for you to get front
Thank you.
face with them. So congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I'll let you know how it goes.
Of course. Thanks for the chat. I hope this was helpful.
Appreciate that, man. And I think this was a really good conversation. I think there might be a part two about this. But you know what? Let's go through the interview and I'll tell you how it went. So till next
Sounds great.
time.
Good luck. Take care.
All
Good
right.
luck.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Omar. See you.
Bye.